Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to a show. I don't know the name of the show yet, we're just doing a show, we're talking about football. I'm here with the boys, I've been wanting to do a few live streams. I'm obviously going to say hello to the lads in a second, I'm going to say hello to the chat, but hello there everyone, welcome back. And here we are, we've got loads of shit to get into, but pretty much long story short, my Wi-Fi has been a little bit iffy, so if it's playing up a little bit then I do apologise, I'll try and get that fixed for the next stream. But boys, how are we? Callum, I'll come to you first. Thank you for coming on the channel, bro. And obviously, people, Coppish merch. If you want to go and get yourself some Coppish merch, cop yourself some Coppish merch, then go to the link in their description to go and get one of them. Hats, t-shirts, brilliant, top quality stuff, if I do say so myself. How are we, man?
Not too bad, bro. Thank you so much for having me. Bro, it feels like ages since I've been on there. It was nice to be back.
Time. Like the watch-alongs, wouldn't it? It would have been the watch-alongs the last time you were on the channel. Yeah. So when we were getting slapped as well, which weren't great. But no, bro, it's great to have you on the channel as well. Conroy, how are we, my mate?
Good, mate. Good, mate. Obviously, it's been a somber couple of days, but the match last night, I'm in a better mood than I was on Tuesday night. So, no, I'm good, mate. I'm happy to be here, buzzing to be here. And, looking forward to the debate on this show. Some good stuff. Some massive games coming up as well. I don't know if you've looked at some great last 16 games.
We're going to be talking about the round of 16 fixtures. We're going to be talking about a load of that stuff. But boys, before we start the stream and we get into the Euros talk and stuff like that, for the people watching the stream, if you don't know, and shout out to everyone who's here, by the way, I haven't done a live for quite a while. This was not really too planned. It was kind of last minute. So shout out to everyone who has tuned in. But long story short, there was a piece of news that I saw earlier about the away goal rule, boys. So pretty much, if you don't know, and for the people who are watching the stream, it's scrapped. So this is what it says. Breaking news. The away goals rule will be removed from all UEFA club competitions from next season. So the 21-22 season. And that just came out of nowhere. Like, that's not something that's been building up. Don't get me wrong. I've heard things before like this could happen. But it's not something that I thought was going to be so soon. It's not something that I thought was going to be right now. Callum, I want to know your thoughts about this. This is a big, big thing in Champions League football and Europa League.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, if anyone was going to ask what to fix first, it would kind of be the whole VAR situation in terms of the speed of it and just sort of the consistencies of it. But they've gone with the away goal thing. Now, I know a lot of people are going to lose it with the whole away goal because it's something we're used to. But the away goal was kind of brought in because back in the day, you didn't have the pass-back rule where players could pass back to their goalkeepers and the goalkeeper could pick the ball up and waste time. Whereas you can't do that now. So the away goal rule, in my opinion, leaving for football and the European competitions, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I actually think it will make teams more attacking over the two legs. So you might actually get more entertainment personally. I think where it is a bit sketchy is, are you going to start getting the whole, back in the day, Liverpool won the Champions League only because you got on away goals and stuff like that. Is it going to start bringing up conversations like that? And I mean, Lucas Moura, when they got through with Tottenham over Ajax, that was through the away goal rule. Great point. Is it going to start bringing up those arguments? But I'm not against the whole change, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. No, I hear you. Here's what I think about it, and Conroy, I'll come to you in a second, bro. But I just think of it as not necessarily don't fix what's not broken, because I understand if you want to change, and change isn't always a bad thing. But I think one element the away goal gave you in the games is that it made the games more entertaining. You can't deny that. Teams won't defend as much, and some teams will defend more. But I believe without the away goal, that just sets up teams in the second leg to really go ahead and defend in that game, and therefore could possibly ruin the excitement factor of the Champions League and the Europa League in many extents. You know, these are the competitions where the best teams are supposed to play the best teams, and I just think removing the away goal will then in the second leg cause, like Callum's just brought up some big moments, Tottenham, even Liverpool have had their moments with the away goal, but that kind of goes without it, and I don't know, I just thought it added something exciting. What do you think, bro?
I think the way it's kind of worked out, Callum said the originality of it is probably not planned, but because of the way it worked out, it made games more exciting. I've got to be honest, right? Kind of ruins it a little bit. It means it gives benefit to bigger teams now. So it's like, this is going to sound stupid, right? But how many games is when a team's played better, but they've maybe lost to the away goal because a team's been defensively strong, been an underdog, got one chance, taken their goal? The best example is probably, I think, Spurs. Same route, mate, but I think it was Spurs against City. at the new stadium. They won 1-0. Aguero missed a penalty, and then Son scored. And then I can't remember. I think the second leg, there's lots of goals, but basically it allowed them to City had to come out, and it allowed their game plan. And I feel like underdog, like a Benitez game plan, if you will, would kind of teams like that the Champions League away goals help them because it allows you to. I think it gives the underdogs a bigger chance. Now it's just going to be a case of, well, it's not worth two, is it? If you score, it's just a goal, and we've got 90 minutes to get free ahead. And it just, to me, this year, it just seems to sum up that the rich teams want to stay rich and they don't want to let anyone else join in. They don't want there to be. They want to be as less competition as possible, and it kind of falls into that bracket, to be honest, guys. I'm not making it about the Super League or anything like that, but maybe I'm overthinking that. Maybe it's just a rule that had to be changed, but I think it will take the excitement out of it, to be honest. I think it will a little bit.
That's what I think. I just think, not that it completely ruins Champions League football. It's not that big of a change, but it does, in my opinion, suck out a little bit of the excitement, you know. Yeah. The away goal rule for new football fans can be very confusing. It's like, wait, what? So you can have the same aggregate, but you can still go through. Like, yeah, but that's also, once you understand that and you watch football more often, it just makes sense. And it also, like I've just said, it just adds that element of being excited, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
When you get thumped as well in the first leg, like Barcelona against Roma, and they get a goal, so you lose 3-1, 4-1. 4-1's maybe a bit dramatic, but say it's like 3-1, you can go into that second leg and be like, you know what, we can win this 2-0. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe they've not purposely.
It was so
made
last
it
minute.
exciting,
That's what confused me. It was how last minute, and the fact it was announced today. Like, it weren't even built up into next season, because it was like that with VAR. Like, next season there's going to be VAR implemented. Next season there's going to be goal line technology. This season it was just, there's no away goal rule.
So guys, I'm going to come out and come back in because I think my internet's playing up a little bit. Give me 1 sec, yeah?
Say less, my bro. Say less, my bro. So Callum will be back in the stream in a second. If I haven't said this already, by the way, go subscribe to Conroy, go subscribe to Callum. Again, I weren't expecting there to be a lot of people in the stream because I haven't been live in a minute, but thank you to everyone who has joined. Conroy, my mate, the Euros have concluded. Not been too bad. Obviously, for you as a Scotsman, you're not going to be best pleased, but one thing I can offer to you is maybe that you got into a tournament, and I'm not trying to be patronising, but it's like you got into a tournament and you gave it your all in all them games. It weren't like you got absolutely slapped. Even in that first game, was it the first game where the kid scored two amazing goals?
First game kills you, mate. You know, 19 shots. Yeah.
You'd even got more shots than England.
That's the one that kills you, mate.
When Scotland played,
is it 19
England,
shots?
19 shots in the first
game.
No,
overall we've had 42 shots. It was 19. Overall, it's 42 shots we've had, and we scored one goal at the tournament. So
it just shows how important it is to have a finisher, man. It shows how important it is to have a proper
international football. Patrick Schick, I'm not being funny, and I'm not just saying it because of the goal he scored, but he looks pretty good as well. Even his header, no one's really talking about his header against Scotland. Like, one chance, one goal. Yeah, to be honest, James, I'm balanced now, mate. There's plenty of positives. It's not all positive because that squad is good enough to play better, and there's just moments. Croatia, yes, right. Croatia deserve to win that game. It's 1-1, 58th minute, John McGinn's 2 yard. He's basically in the goal and he doesn't score. These are the things you need to take. Northern Ireland a couple of years ago, Gareth McCauley, then Niall McGinn in the last minute. You need to take the chances when they come. In Scotland, they just didn't. I mean, honestly, if you actually watch the game, there's so many chances, like proper chances. And for me, it's like, that's what we'll develop on. But the positive is, James, the squad, I think I've looked at the squad, and maybe the oldest player going forward, like there's older players, but the oldest player going forward who you maybe won't like leave the squad is Andy Robertson's 27, Tierney's 24, Nathan Patterson's really young, Billy Gilmore obviously. There's plenty of potential
so actually,
there.
When you bring that up, it's not out of the realms of possibility. And who's to say there's not going to be more Scottish stars coming by the next tournament?
Well, Ryan Gold as well is another one, yeah. He never even got in the squad, but he's playing really well. Apparently he might be moving to Benfica or Sporting. I heard there's rumours he might be doing that. So, no, he's been to Sporting. I think it might be Benfica, but genuinely,
Billy Gilmore impressed as well, didn't he? Billy Gilmore was good against England.
Mate, listen, we finished the tournament. Listen, we should have done better, but we finished with a man of the match at Wembley in his first start, right, against England, right? A goal we got to celebrate and a draw at Wembley. So it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Yeah. Do you know what, actually? And Callum, you're going to like this question that I'm about to ask Conroy. Get on this. Conroy, Curtis Jones or Billy Gilmour? And bear in mind, people, for those who don't know, Conroy is a Liverpool fan and a Scotland fan.
See, I do. I think they're different in the sense of, see, when I look at Billy Gilmour, I feel like, see, no, it's a good question. You probably say Curtis Jones has played more games, but I've got to be honest, mate. See the trajectory this kid's going on. He's like a psychopath. He doesn't seem to feel pressure, James. It's actually crazy. It's like I think he's going to go right to the top, Billy Gilmour. I think you can just see it right now. He'll go on loan for a few seasons, and then they'll take Jorginho out and they'll put Gilmour in, and he'll play. I think he'll be in the Scotland team for the next 10 years. He doesn't seem pressure, mate, and his decision making so good. So it's like he'll play it sideways when he has to, but see, when it's on, he plays it, and he's such a wee guy, but they fire balls into him, and he's just so comfortable.
He's technically very good. He's a
psychopath, mate. He doesn't get pressure. I've never seen anything like it. He doesn't feel pressure.
That's what you want. That's what you want. You want to be, and with the environment that he comes from in Chelsea, that's just the thing that you've got to expect. He's quality, man. And I only asked that question because it's very close, and they will have differences. One player will be better at some things than the other, and vice versa. But I just asked it to basically pull your ear. But, do you know what?
I think Gilmour's suited for the system, James. I think Gilmour is suited for the team, whereas you can maybe argue Curtis Jones is you're not sure.
Yeah, he missed the end of the tournament, didn't he, Gilmour, as well? I believe.
Yeah, of course he did, mate. The one player who got man of the match got COVID, of course.
Right, mate. It just shows the summary of Scotland's look. But listen, man, again, like, just before we move on to England, because there's a few people in the chat asking about England, I still think it's something Scotland can be proud of. It's not like you went into every game and played shit. Like I said, you had 19 chances in that first game. You had 11 chances against us. You had more chances against us than we did against you. And look at the attacking options that we've got. So I think there's still a lot
to learn from, James, mate.
And potential, you've just said young players, so there's no reason why they won't improve for the next tournament. But from one team to another, and even though you think you've probably underachieved, I still feel, even though we finished top of the group, that we've underachieved, we being England, and I just think to myself, why do I do it to myself? And I want to know what the chat thinks. Why do I do it to myself? Because at the end of the day, I'm seeing Jadon Sancho getting 30 minutes out of a possible, 90 plus 90 plus 90. It's like 270, 270 minutes.
That's crazy.
You're taking the piss. He is. Do you know how many German fans were saying Jadon Sancho? It blows my head off the fact that he's not going to be playing in this game, or he isn't playing. And it's just, even for example, it's announced that we're going to be playing Germany. This will really tell me if Gareth Southgate is on his shit, because Jadon Sancho, there is no other game in this tournament, especially a big game, where it would make sense for you to play than that German game, when you're going to be playing against players that you're coming up against week in, week out in that league. Yeah. So I'm very baffled, because we won 2 of the 3 games, right? We'll go with the first game first against Croatia. We played shit. And people can't take that away. And I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just being honest, because the ambition here is to win the trophy. That's, at least from what I've been told, the ambition is to go all the way and it's coming home. So if that's the ambition, it's like saying Liverpool win the league, but if we finish 4th, then we should be sad. Do you know what I mean? I know we just finished there, but it's like, you get the analogies that I'm trying to make. Circumstances came into it. We have got options after options after options, and you're not using them. So the Croatia game, didn't play great, but you just saw you were facing a team that were completely out of our depth. You could see that they were old, they weren't as quick as they once was, and the players that are still world class, they're just not the exact same.
I think you ran all over them as well.
That's what physically.
Southgate's credit, Calvin Phillips, he played him a blinder against Croatia, because I thought he played quite well.
He got right, but I think we could have also utilised the team.
He scored against the run of play. People forget that. You had your spell in the first half, hit the post, and then it was. Actually, Croatia, I felt, were coming into the game, and then it's a good goal, and then Sterling scores. But do you know what, mate? The problem, I've not got a problem at all with England in that way, but all I've seen today is, we're going to beat the Germans. And I'm like...
No, but where's the substance? Where's the substance? Yeah, and Callum, welcome back to the stream, bro.
I don't know where that comes from. I understand.
Sorry, can you guys hear me all right now, yeah?
Yeah, mate,
yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what was going on with my... Sorry about that, guys.
Cool, bro. Welcome to YouTube. This is how it works, man. Do you know what I'm saying? But do you know what, Conroy? Just to follow up on you were just saying, there's no substance to back up that we're actually going to beat Germany. Reason, and I think we can. I think that's actually not a bad draw for England. I think their manager isn't the greatest, just like ours, and I think they've got quality, but they're using it in the wrong ways, i.e. playing Kimmich at right back or right wing back. I don't think that's what they should do, but I understand why they might want to do it. But I just think of it as one of these. We're not going to go out and utilise our full options because I haven't saw anything in the first 3 games to tell me that we are going to. We're not going to go for it, and that's really the way you should play against Germany. Defensively, they're okay, but they've shown that they can make a mistake or two. And you're not going to go for it more likely than not.
Yeah, they were good against
How am I supposed to
Portugal.
be
I thought they were good against Portugal. I actually thought the 3 at the back worked well. I thought Guzans, the boy from Atlanta, was outstanding. I thought he was really good against France as well. And
Yeah.
I know what you're saying about Kimmich, mate, but I feel like the problem with Kimmich is they've got Gundogan, Goretzka, and Cruz, and Kimmich is a world-class right back as well. So I understand it's like he wants to play there, but I thought against Portugal worked really well because I thought Kimmich, and they pushed, so basically one full back or wing back would be the other box or close enough to it, so when they crossed it in, and it'll be interesting to see. I think it might suit England because you'll probably be quite defensive and play for counter-attack, and that might work because you might stifle the Germans. Look at last night, look at Hungary. I mean, let's be honest, if it wasn't for a deflection, Germany were out, or they would have been out.
No, it's facts.
Yeah.
It's facts.
So you've got a chance, mate, but it always seems to be there's no in between with England fans. It's like either this is it. There's no we're going to beat them, and it's that annoys me. But I think you've got a chance, 100% got a chance, because the squad you've got, Grealish, you've always got a chance.
Yeah, Callum, I was just wondering, because I know you've got to go soon, bro, but I was just wondering your thoughts on England and their group stage and how they've fared so far, and also how you think they're going to do going forwards into the knockout stages.
Yes, I think everyone's focused on England's lack of attacking prowess, but I do think their defensive prowess should be commended. I know they haven't played the toughest of opposition, but to go 3 games and not concede 1 goal, I think that has to be commended. And look, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm Jordan Pickford's biggest fan. I'm far from it. But he's played really well in the 3 games. I mean, defensively, England have looked strong. The problem is, to be a truly world-class team, you have to be defensively strong and attacking. You have to be devastating in attack. Unfortunately, they're not devastating in attack. And Gareth Southgate faces a conundrum because everyone was calling for Sterling to be dropped before the group stages, as was I. But without Sterling's goals, England don't qualify for the next leg of the group stages. And then if you're looking at Kane, for example, who in my opinion is the best number 9 in the world, you think, or someone different in the formation or the lineup. Southgate, I think, is in a horrible position, and to be in this position when you've got to play Germany next, I don't think it's a good look. And I think that will be the undoing, unfortunately, because he hasn't settled on a best 11, and plus his best 11 in his mind aren't playing in the best of form at the moment. I think it'll be really difficult to sort that out in time for playing the Germans.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Here's the thing that I want to just say dead quick. You brought up about the defence and how the defence should be commended for getting clean sheets. I agree, because you've set out to defend and you've achieved your job. You've got the clean sheets that you went out there to get. But I think when you look at our squad, we might not be bad defensively, but our key areas is our attack. If you look on paper, our strongest area of the squad, let's say, of our selection that we can go with is the attackers. You've got Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho, Phil Foden, Mason Mount. These are players that are world class, if not just the category below. You bring up like Sterling, for example, who, yes, has scored 2 goals. I don't think he played great over the 3 games, to be dead honest.
No, he hasn't.
I think if the likes of a Sancho had played, he would have had more of an impact. I even felt in the last game where Sancho came on, we saw that. I think Sancho would have to play against Germany for a point that I brought up before about he plays them players week in, week out, but he won't get started. And I just come back to this argument, Callum. It's about giving yourself the best possible chance. And if you're not going to start your best attacking players, which is your strongest area of the team, it's like not starting Luis Suarez in 13-14. It's your strongest player. Why aren't you going to play him? Do you get what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's my argument.
Yeah, I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, Southgate, he leaves a lot to be desired, Southgate, in my opinion. And again, I think he's probably a manager who's not just, and don't get me wrong, like Sven-Goran Eriksson had a prime Michael Owen pretty much. Then he had Wayne Rooney as well, who came into his prime. But they didn't have these sort of numbers. Like if you look at England's attack right now, Harry Kane, Sterling, Sancho, Saka, Foden, Mount, Grealish. In my lifetime, I can't remember us like looking at an England team thinking, goodness me, they've got these amount of attacking players. And to think of some of the other players who've been left behind. I know people might laugh at some of these names, but players like Ings, Vardy, like left behind, like not even close. Bamford, who's had a good season. So for Southgate to not even come up or come close to finding a good formula for these players to play attacking, fluid and progressive football, just it boggles the mind, because 2 goals out of 3 games, yes, 2 clean sheets and you finish top of the group, brilliant. But to score 2 goals against opposition who, let's be honest, no, obviously apart from Scotland being world class, are pretty average. Like they've got to do more. Like you've got to do more as a manager.
100%, absolutely agree with that. People are even bringing up Saka. This is what I'm saying. Saka is another option that we've got up front. Someone young, hungry, and actually when he played, I really enjoyed seeing him play. But again, I always go back to the question: are you giving yourself the best possible chance? Now, Klopp Talk TV, shout out to Klopp Talk, but let's just say he brings up a good point. It could be something to do with Sancho maybe doing something wrong. The only reason why I withdraw that belief is based on the fact that technically he's one of the best in the team, man. Do you get what I'm saying? He's proven it week in, week out. If you want to talk about form, look at the form that he had for Dortmund going into the end of last season. Again, for this game particularly against Germany, I think it makes sense to give him a chance against players he's used to playing against. And I don't see that happening. I don't see us starting our best players that we could be starting. I don't see... Who's to say Jack Grealish is going to start? And he changed the game. He changed the game, and there's still no guarantee.
Grealish won't start Grealish. No chance he'll start Grealish. That's too simple.
That group stage was just a brilliant opportunity for him to play Jack Grealish in a game like the Czech Republic, make it seem like he's probably going to get more minutes, and then he got subbed off with 25 minutes to go. You can see like Sterling's the main man, friggin' Harry Kane's the main man, and maybe Saka or someone else. Like that other side is to be rotated.
Sterling's effective though. I literally called this before the Scotland game, right? See Raheem Sterling, I've always said his movement's superb, right? But I'm telling you right now, that German defence is not going to be scared of Raheem Sterling. And after the match, if he's done something, I'll hold my hands up. But I said against Scotland, I'd rather 100 times have Sterling, because I know Sterling can get marked out of a game. And actually, I was proved right twice, because Grealish also got marked out of the game by Stephen O'Donnell, who plays for Motherwell, a right back, Kilmarnock and Motherwell. So let's put that in perspective. You know, like Sterling's effective movement, but when push comes to shove, there's too many times he's not turned up, or he's not turned up, he just gets marked out of the game, because you can mark him out of the game. Put a challenge in early. I just feel like any defender would look at Sterling and feel like, yes, he's never going to skin me. That's not his style. He maybe beat you sometimes, but yes, he might be effective and score. But I feel like you've always got a chance with Sterling. You know, any defender can be like, I can mark him out of a game and he'll be quiet. That's what happened against Scotland, and I can see that happening with Germany. But with Sancho, I think you're right, James. He's not going to play him, but Sancho knows Ginter. He's played with Hummels. He'll know that defence, and I just feel like played against Kimmich as well. I just feel like there's definitely inside information there that you're not taking advantage of. Billy Gilmore literally plays with Mason Mount every day, and there's a reason that he was the best player in that park against Mason Mount, and it's not a coincidence that they played against each other. I just think overcomplicate things sometimes when you don't have to.
It's because he's not that good of a manager, boys. That's what it is. Gareth Southgate, he's very indecisive because he's not that good of a manager. He's never done anything to really quantify his position in that job. He's never won anything at a previous level. He managed Middlesbrough for a bit, done shit, and then he managed the England under-21s. He managed the under-21s, and this is our manager. Callum, I know you've got to go soon, bro, but I just want to know your predictions on who you think is going to go all the way in the Euros. You're probably going to talk about this on your channel, but I'm getting the exclusive right here on James TV. I'm getting in there first, Callum.
I got to be honest, bro. I can't see past France, and I know they've not really hit top form yet. I just look at their squad, and I just think I don't see any weaknesses there. And unless Kante gets a mad bout of food poisoning or something goes wrong with Kante, like I don't see how you break.
Get some dodgy chicken or something. Get some dodgy food. Oh, mate,
but I mean, even in the World Cup final, that happened to him, and he still was good in that final. So it's like, how do you get past France consistently to have a threat? And then you think, if France go 1-0 up in the game, you are asking for trouble, because Mbappe on the break, now Benzema as well. If one of their centre midfield like Griezmann joins in the attack, it's a hard team to play against. Defensively, really resilient. and they've got a good squad. I know Dembele's gone home now because of injury, so that does take away one player who's got a stupid amount of pace on the counter attack, or if you're trying to close out a game. But I just think their squad's got so much to it that I don't see anyone stopping them.
Nah, I hear you, man. Listen, it's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout in the slightest. I feel like even if that team doesn't have a manager, they should still be able to do the job. Because, like you said, Callum, their team is insane. They're under 21s. They're insane, let alone their first team. Like, let alone the first team. But Callum, bro, thank you so much for coming on the Change Redmond TV.
Sorry for the internet troubles.
Don't apologise for something that's out of your control, G. Don't you worry about it. We'll get you back on the channel to make up for
100%. 100%. Hammers, Conroy, love you boys.
People, Coppish merch, go over to their channel in the description, and I'm going to whack it on my Instagram. Callum, thank you, my mate. See you later.
Bless you, bro. Nice one, boys. Soon. Thank you.
My G. Right, Conroy, I'm going to ask you the same question. I'm going to throw it your way now. The Euros. Well, actually, do you know what? Before I ask who you think will win, and the chat as well, who's been the team so far that surprised you the most? Because I remember when we were on your channel and you and Callum were, well, not that you were pushing it overboard, but, you know, you gave a little mention for teams like Turkey. Didn't go well for teams like Turkey, obviously.
Well, let's not, you called it right, mate. You called it right.
Mr. I don't do if buts or maybes. Mr. I don't do if buts or maybes. Still to this day, stand connected. And they lost all the games. But this is what basically the point of the question, not to rub my own fucking cock.
No, you didn't, mate. You called it.
Nah, but the point of the question was Turkey unexpectedly done shit. Who's the team?
They actually done worse than you said they would. I think you said they'd get a point. They actually done worse than that.
I know they lost all the games, even I couldn't anticipate it. But who do you think's impressed you the most? Who's been the most shocking team?
What? Who's impressed or who's been the both? So most impressive.
Both.
See, the thing is, I was with you, mate. I thought Italy would be good before it, and then we weren't on this delusion that people were saying they were dark horses. I was like, that's not, like, Italy, even with Conte, were really good, and I know, man, they had not lost again for a long time as well. Italy's got to be up there. Still, even though they played really well, they've went beyond the expectations. I think they've never scored more than 2 goals, and they've won 2 games 3-0. They never won more than 2-0.
Yeah, they've scored 7, conceded none, 1 or 3 games in their group, and that is not an easy group, by the way. You've got Wales, you've got Switzerland and Turkey going into the tournament. That wouldn't have been the group of death, but it would have been one of the more difficult groups, I think.
No, 100%. I'd say Italy. I've actually, you know what? Shout out to the comment there, mate. You got to give some credit to Holland, because we in that video we done were saying De Boer would not do it, and I think he's identified his strengths. And he's not tried to be like, we're not great defensively, but we can be brilliant attack. Obviously, he's let Genie's just playing outstanding. De Jong, even Dumfries. I'm so surprised. I did not think he was that good a player. Now, don't get me wrong, he's still maybe questionably at times defensively, but he's been superb this tournament. And I think he's another one that, even as a Weghorst up front, I've been very impressed with Holland as well. And it's going to be very interesting the last couple of games, mate, because there's some crackers, and I feel like there's going to be a few upsets. I've got a feeling there's going to be a few upsets.
Do you know what? The Netherlands is a perfect one. I know their group stage weren't the hardest. They had Austria, they had Ukraine, and they had North Macedonia. But still, mate, like, you cannot say that they haven't done job. They've scored 8 goals, conceded just 2. That is without their best centre-back. They should be getting through that group, but they've done it by winning every game.
With their manager as well, I think.
With their manager, a lot of things can go wrong when you set out a team incorrectly, and that's a great point there, bro. If I had to bring up a team that I am overly impressed with, it is most certainly Hungary, and let me tell you why. When we were talking about the group of death, we weren't talking about Hungary to add to that death factor. And they did. Every game, did they draw with France, or did they end up losing?
Drew with France and unlucky against Portugal. They were unlucky against Portugal because they lost 3-0, but I think they conceded the first goal in the 85th minute, had the offside goal.
But Conroy,
they did play really well, mate.
Conroy, they played good football, and this is the thing. We were talking about that group stage, and we were talking about, Portugal, France, Germany, and rightly so, but Hungary really added a little bit of spice to that as well.
Great, 10 minutes away from going through, mate. 10 minutes away from going through.
It was the group of death, but it was the most entertaining group as well. It was absolutely brilliant. But for those who don't know about the road to the final and how it would sort of match up, so Belgium will play Portugal in the round of 16, and they will face the winner of Italy and
Austria.
Austria. Yeah. So they will play the winner. So that's most likely going to be Belgium or Portugal versus Italy. Realistically, you expect Italy to beat Austria.
I think Belgium will beat Portugal. I just think De Bruyne and Lukaku looks different right now. He looks so fit and
I
just
agree. I think he's confident, isn't he?
yeah.
Like
He
he's
looks like
feeling
he's
himself.
ruthless now. He looks like he's took all that hate and all that criticism. And he's even faster now. I don't know if you saw the goal against Denmark, De Bruyne's goal. He actually runs out wide, beats a man, cuts in. I've not seen him do that. Like he just looks so sharp, and I called it at the start in our video, mate. I think he'll get top scorer and possibly even
He
player. The
did.
way he's going, if he keeps scoring and they get through a couple of rounds, I think De Bruyne's looking good. I think
Yeah.
that's going to be a great game. So if
No,
you're
they're on
comments are
form.
listening, that's going to
They're
be a
on
great
form.
game. I'm very excited for that game.
So we're predicting Italy to play Belgium, are we? And then we're going to say,
Yeah.
who do you reckon is win out of them? No, that'd be an interesting game. We won't talk about that. We'll wait till it gets to the next round.
Who
But
wins
the
that,
next-
James? Though, mate, they're going to have the confidence to win the tournament 100%.
Tell me about it, because these are also two teams. Say if it is Belgium and Italy, they're two teams that if they win them games, they would have won every single game of the tournament up to that point. They've lost no games in the group stage, which is huge. But anyway, the next one is France versus Switzerland, and then Croatia versus Spain. So the winner of them games will play each other. Most likely gonna be Spain and France. I'm not gonna lie, Conroy. You feel free to disagree if you so wish, but I think Spain surprised me a little bit in their last game. Fair enough, 5 goals against a not amazing team, but still they done the job that they needed to do, and they've shown. Listen, you thought we were gonna play boring, but we're actually not that boring. We can actually get a goal or two.
Hear what you're saying, James. The only thing I'd say with Spain is, see when they scored the first goal, it was fine. It was a big error, and then it was fine. It was like the shackles were off. They're great to play.
Yeah.
Croatia, with Modric, Kovacic, and Brozovic, right? They weren't great against England. They were much better against Scotland. Listen, it's different levels. I'm not saying it's not, but they started to look a little bit better. Like the midfield could run the game better. Now the only thing with Spain is, I think, will give them a chance if they finish the way they've been finishing other games, like the Poland game and the Sweden game. If Spain score one, I think they'll win it, no bother. But if they keep missing their chances and that pressure heaps up, when you've got Modric in that midfield in a team, I think you've got a chance. Most likely it'll be Spain. But I just think I'm very interested to watch that game, because I think tactically it'll be interesting to watch.
Tactically.
Yeah,
No,
because you could
100%.
that midfield. What are you going to do? Is Spain going to keep playing the way they play, or are they going to try and outrun them? Scotland tried that the other night, didn't do too well. Obviously, they're a much better team than Scotland, Spain, but that's the way Spain like to play as well. So it's going to be really interesting, both midfields in that match.
I'm gonna say France beat Switzerland and then Spain beat Croatia. That'll be an interesting one as well, France versus Spain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say so. The next one on the other side of the column is Sweden versus Ukraine. 2 other teams that have also impressed people. I'm expecting Sweden to maybe edge that game, and then the winner of that will play either us or Germany. So how do you see them games going, Conroy?
See Ukraine. I've been disappointed with Ukraine in the last game against Austria. They're very poor, but they have got a good squad. That player you like, James, and Zinchenko, Yarmolenko. I just think, see Sweden, they're resilient. They're one of these teams. They're just resilient. They just get the job done. And I feel like when you've got a Forsberg, I mean, Isak's obviously came about, but when you've got someone like that, he's clutch Forsberg. Like, he doesn't seem to feel the pressure. Like, he scored 3 goals in the tournament. You can tell he's turned up. I think you're right. Sweden there, mate, and the other one is Germany, England. I don't know with that one, mate. I think you can beat Germany. I just feel like
it's not a bad team that we got, to be dead honest with you. Tactically, like I said, I feel like we can go at Germany, but we would have to go for them. We would have to get players forward. We would have to play a little bit risky, because without risks, there's no rewards. And I just think against a team like Germany, where they have got still some very, very world-class players that can win the game single-handedly. How do you win the majority of games of football? You win them by winning the midfield. They've got heavy midfielders all over the friggin' thing. I think Germany will go through. I think we can beat them. I'm very 60% leaning towards Germany and 40% towards us. But when I go off the evidence and the data that I have been given over recent games that both countries and nations have played, Germany have shown me more.
See, the thing is, right, as much as I'll give my England fans a bit of hope here for it, right, Southgate's quite, negative with his tactics and stuff, but I feel like in this game, you might actually have a chance, because it might suit you as well to play counter-attack. However, it'll be interesting to see if you match them, James. So if you go for free at the back as well, that's, again, tactically, this is going to be an interesting game, because Germany will 100% go free at the back, and obviously England can do it. I think you might, mate. I think
They've got Hummels there. Don't get me wrong. Hummels is a very, very good centre back, but he's about 50.
His pace is gone, mate. His
It's
pace
finished.
is gone.
It's finished. So why are we not going to utilise that? Because I don't think we will. I think Hummels could have a little breeze, a little rest.
No, that's a great point. Their defence is, it's not weak, but
it's not the shittest one, but it's one that you can exploit. Yeah. It's got errors in that defence.
Ginter's probably looked our best I've seen. I've been impressed with him, but he's probably
he's had a few chances as well, that Ginter. He's had a few chances at the other end that he's missed.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I know I keep saying it, like I talk about the Croatia and Spain game, but I think this is going to be really interesting because you can play a back three England while you do it. It'll be interesting to see, but Rudiger as well. Yeah,
Rudiger has been in great form. Shout out to Ad who brings up that.
But Jeremy been hot and cold, mate. Listen, Hungary, that was poor the other night. They had to bring a 17-year-old to. There is Ms. Lara who's linked.
Do you know
with,
what though?
Do
you know one thing that we can say? Yes, they were poor against Hungary. Facts, but did Hungary go for it? I can say they did.
Yeah, especially started quite quick as well because the goal comes from the cross, doesn't it? Quite early, and to be doing that, you need to be. They're confident, Hungary. I feel like that's maybe the thing with England.
They have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose, but England should carry a little bit of that factor with them as well because we haven't won anything since 1966. It's coming home business. Like, what is home? To find home. Like, with all due respect, like I'm not trying to take the piss out of my home nation, but it's true. Like, what are you bringing home? It's like saying bring back another Premier League, but you've never won a Premier League before. Makes zero sense. So I just think, when it comes to this, I think Germany will beat us and they will face Sweden. But if we went for it, I think there's something that we can get out.
But if you do beat Germany, if you can actually beat a team, you shouldn't. Like, when's the last time I spoke to someone last night? When's the last time England beat someone they shouldn't have bet? Like Colombia.
Get penalties. That in the chat if you know an answer, because I couldn't tell you.
Probably was it maybe Euro 2000? I think you beat Germany 1-0 then. But what I mean is, Wales knocked out Belgium at the last Euros. They shouldn't have knocked Belgium out, so they've got that coup. No one can take that away from them. If you somehow do beat Germany, it's an unbelievable route to the final, mate. Like, it's unbelievable. It's probably the best route you're ever going to get because more likely you'll play a Holland. It's a Holland. No, it'd be Czech Republic, I think. So it's like, if you can beat Germany,
it'd be massive. It'd be massive.
It could be coming home, you would say, if that happens, but we'll see, mate. It's a big
it depends how we would. Because say if we won with 5 at the back, like some people in the chat have said could happen, I think it's one of them where, we're probably going to do that. And if we do that and we win, even though it's a good thing, you've got to see good performances to really give yourself confidence going forward. It was like when Liverpool were in their bad run of form last season, if we got a win, Conroy, we weren't getting carried away. Because it weren't the greatest performance, and it's about consistency. So, luckily, it's a small tournament, though. Again, that'll be interesting. Then the last one will be the Netherlands versus Czech Republic, and then Wales versus Denmark. I am expecting Netherlands to be playing Wales.
Czech's been good, though. I'm all joking aside, mate. Czech's been really good. I've been really impressed with Patrick Schick. I think his Leverkusen
he's been quality.
No, he genuinely has, mate. Like, I'm not even joking. He's been very good, but I think the Netherlands will get through.
You know, you talk about player of the tournament. We might as well go into that conversation now because, you know, you mentioned Schick, but I want to mention someone called Gini Wijnaldum, someone that we're letting go for free. Someone who is,
soon, mate. Too soon.
It's not like he's getting a lucky goal every now and then for the Netherlands. He's scoring consistently. Do you want me to tell you why? Because when it comes to well-rounded midfielders, Gini is one of the best out there, and he's only going to get respect now, kind of like an Ilkay Gundogan, because he's scoring goals. Gundogan has been doing this for years and years and years. At the highest level. He might not be getting the goals that he did this season, but the only thing that Gundogan has shown me over the years is he can play multiple roles.
That's a really good point, mate.
Gini Wijnaldum is the exact same. So if you call Ilkay Gundogan a world-class player, you've got to put Gini in that same conversation. And I am talking the exact same conversation. Not a category below, not one above. The exact same, if not maybe above. Because when you talk about Gini as well, he is someone who, for years, you could say, Gundogan's had injuries, but you can say Gini's actually had a better past 5 seasons than Ilkay Gundogan. What player has played more football than Gini? Probably not that many. He's very, very reliable. And when he does play, he plays good. And you can see, in the Netherlands, that's more of his system. It's one that he looks like he enjoys more. But even in Liverpool, he was still doing a top-notch job. He's world-class, Conroy.
I've always been a big fan of Gini. I just think the thing is for me, mate, is when you see him at Holland, Do you think PSG? Like, he's probably not going to play that high up for PSG. But do you think they'll maybe look to? He'll probably do the same role at PSG, retain the ball and keep the play going. It'll probably be more likely. But when I watch him for Holland, he just looks like he's got this freedom, and it's maybe no people maybe say, well, why do you not do that at Liverpool? But that suited the system, and football's about system nowadays. It's not about like Caroline individual brilliance to win every game. You need systems to beat teams, and that's what suited us. And he done a great job there. I agree, mate. The way, if he keeps going at this bloody rate, if they can get to the quarters or semi-final, and he's maybe bagged 4 goals by then, 5 goals, he's got to be in with a shout, mate. This Holland team reminded me very much of like when we played with Rodgers, just kind of go for it type of football.
Yeah.
That's what Holland reminded me of. They just don't care.
That's what you should do. If you've got the attacking prowess, if you're missing your best centre-back in Virgil van Dijk, but you therefore still have the attacking prowess to go forward, you've got Memphis Depay, you've got Gini Wijnaldum, very, very good players, not just scrubs, then you should go for it. Yeah. And what will that do? Most likely than not, it will get you results because you're using your strengths. And here's the thing about Gini as well. It annoys me even more that this is for free. And again, there's always things that go on behind the scenes, but his value has probably gone up another 10, 20 million just off this tournament alone. And listen, you talk about Holland and you talk about their chances of winning this damn thing. I think it's just all the more increased because of Gini Wijnaldum specifically.
Yeah, De Jong's been really good.
He can actually win that tournament. He can actually win them that tournament. Yeah. Oh, and De Jong, he's class as well.
But that's how it balanced because he's sitting deeper and it's like they balance each other well. Obviously, he's quite a good leader as well, Gini. So you can just tell. It's a bit like, obviously Scotland didn't do very well, but see with Robbo, you can tell that he's focused. It's not maybe a coincidence that Gini was one of the vice captains at Liverpool, and you can just tell when he's on that park now, it's like, focus, it's time. I'm not saying that footballers don't focus, but you can just tell there's something in their head right now. It's like he's got this focus and concentration about him that... yeah, I'm very excited to watch him in the knockout stages. I've got a feeling he might make it in the team of the tournament.
I agree. Richard Blackdog, my G, long time no speak. He says, hi James, we are capable of beating any team if we inject the energy. Competition will be won by a side rolling up sleeves and getting stuck into a fight. England can't do it, swaddled in waistcoats, sucking up pressure like a sponge. Great point. Listen, very, very good point. You don't want to just be there all game against Germany just thinking, yeah, yous have got more quality than us. How about you come with us? Use what you've got. Use the talents that you've got within your squad, and then maybe we can get somewhere. People are really going through effort to make fake accounts and spam the chat, so much it'd be appreciated if you could do your damn job. But other than that, shout out to all the people who are giving me more views. Anyway, Richard, shout out for the super chat as well, man. Do you know what I mean? Long time.
Super chat at me. Wow.
Oh, listen, lad. Richard's got dough. Richard's got proper dough. Like, he might as well own Liverpool because he'd invest more into our fucking transfer budget than ours.
He's got the penthouse in London.
We would have Mbappe by now if we have Richard Blackdog as our owner. So it is what it is. It's one of them, lad. It's one of them. But nah, I don't want to miss anything out. Have I missed anything out? What was we talking about then?
You said we talked about Gini there, and we talked about
Gini. So the player of the tournament is basically what I was saying. I'm going to give mine to Gini Wijnaldum. So far, I think he's been class.
Fair enough, mate.
I think he's been class. There's a few others that definitely deserve a shout, like Lukaku, who you mentioned before, De Bruyne, who's also had a very good tournament. But we talk about the Netherlands and we talk about the expectations of the Netherlands. He's exceeded that, in my opinion, and he could exceed that. But there's still a long way to go. This is just so far, people. This isn't even like my overall final answer. But who would you say?
Who's your most surprised player? Like, there's always one who like comes. For me, it's Guzans at Germany. I've been so impressed with that guy. He's at Atlanta Centre.
Is he the left back?
Left back, yeah, like left wing back.
He's quality, man.
He is very good, very, very good.
He's unreal. When I was watching him, I was like, I don't even remember him. Because we played at Atlanta and I couldn't remember.
He may have been injured. I might be incorrect here. I might be no. I think I'm wrong actually because Callum said that. I think that's the Ukrainian player. But no, he looks very good. I don't know if it's the system. It suits him. Obviously, he's playing with better players, but he's got an engine as well, and I've been very impressed with him. Very impressed with him.
Oh no, mate, 100%. There's loads of players. I think like
Locatelli for Italy's been good as well.
Locatelli is another player that has been turning up. Do you know another thing that's like an interesting topic of conversation for Liverpool? If we're seeing Shaqiri scoring goals in this Euro, surely that adds to his value if we were to sell him, even if it's just 5 million. Let's say if that changes it from 10 million to 15. I think that's still pretty solid, if you ask me.
I think so. He always turns up. I think technical ability, you'd probably say he has got the best left foot in Liverpool. That's not a doubt.
Just his legs are huge. They're like rocks inside his legs, so he constantly gets injured.
He's technically probably better than most players in Liverpool. Like, as a technical player, just the technical ability, like he's ridiculous. But I feel like he just needs to move right now. A team that suits him. He gets loads of games, and hopefully his injuries work out. But I think he just needs to go somewhere where he can be a 10, a 10 a lot, and that would suit him because it's like a standard thing. It's a Shaqiri screamer at a tournament. That's what he does.
Yeah,
he is. He's a brilliant. He's technically a brilliant player. Maybe football, with the way different teams play nowadays, he maybe doesn't fit into every team. But where do you think Shaqiri will go?
He can go wherever. He can go back to a league, like a team in Switzerland. But not Switzerland particularly. But one of them mad leagues where it's not like you can still play Champions League football, but it's not like
Turkey,
the highest.
Maybe Turkey.
Turkey is a perfect. Yeah. That's exactly what was like the type of country that I was trying to think of. Somewhere like that. I don't think he's good enough. Not even technically, he's good enough to play for some of the top teams in the world.
It's just the formation they play.
It's the formation. It's the fact he's not the most reliable. Like I said, he's got some physical problems with how big his legs are, in my opinion. I don't think your calves should be that massive when you're playing football all the time and you're running all the time. You're bound to get injuries. It's something that's just absolutely going to happen. And I think he has a lot more to offer for other teams than what he does Liverpool. But also, I think he's just happy just getting a wage and doing what he needs to do. He's already done some great things in his career.
2 Champions Leagues, he's doing pretty well, mate. I think he's got the best goal at Euros ever as well. His bicycle kick, I think it got voted the best goal.
This is what I mean. Like, you look at players like Shaqiri and Olivier Giroud. Like, 20 years' time from now, you can show kids and stuff. Like, I think even you've said this. You can show kids clips of these players. You can show kids clips of Giroud's 10 best goals, Shaqiri's 10 best goals.
And
they will look like one of the best.
Honestly.
Oh, honestly, you think they're one of the best players of all time. So I do rate Shaqiri, I really do, and it's a big shame that it hasn't worked out for him. However, I do think he needs to go. And if this tournament has elevated his price value, which if he gets another goal, there's no reason why it won't, take advantage of that and get him off the books. But in my opinion, Conroy, before we get off the Euros chat, I want to ask you a question on a little transfer link at the end of it. But first, who do you think's going to win the Euros? Who's the winner? Who's the one getting all the marbles?
See, the thing is, mate, right? See Germany. See if Germany beat England. We'll keep saying England's got a great route. Germany probably got a really good route to the final as well. And for a team like a Holland or a Germany, if they can... I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they've got a great chance of getting just the semis or the final, which is... I did say Germany at the start. I think Germany, though, they just look a bit too inconsistent for me, and I think you're right, their defence is just going to be their downfall. We said it would be the striker, but they seem to work a way around that with Havertz playing. Yeah. You know, I'm going to go out and say it, mate. I'm going to say I don't think France will win it. I feel like I've seen France. I think there's been spells in games where teams can get in behind them. Maybe that will improve going forward. For me, I'm going to say Belgium or Italy. Like, that game, obviously, I think they'll play each other, and who wins that game, I think, will win it. So that's what I'm going to say. Right? That's
kind of your final, then, isn't it? If them two go through, that's kind of your final in your brain.
I think so, because people say, like, Belgium maybe won't beat Italy, and so that's why I'm like, I understand that, but whoever wins that game, I think they'll have the confidence now to win it after that, in my opinion.
Absolutely, bro.
What about yourself, James?
I'm going with the team that I've said from the start, mate. Yeah. Italians, don't underestimate them. They're the Chelsea of the tournament. And the reason why I say this, Chelsea won the Champions League, not because player for player they were better than everyone else. Weren't they? They had great players. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that they had under 23s winning the Champions League, but they still, on paper, they should. If there was Frank Lampard in the job, they're not even in anyone's favourites to win the Champions League. But the reason why they entered a few people's thoughts is because they were the hardest team to beat. I said from the quarterfinals, Chelsea will win that Champions League. And the reason why I've looked at Italy, because a few weeks ago, or a few weeks before the tournament started, I thought in me, like, I saw that stat about how Italy hadn't lost since like 2018. And I actually started looking into it. And then when I watched a few of their pre-season friendly games before the tournament, I just thought to myself, like, yeah, they're going to smash this. They're just so organised, and they've got quality. If you've got quality and you're organised, Mancini smashed it with them. If you've got quality and you're organised in a small tournament, you're looking very likely you can go and win it. There's no teams as well that's really head and shoulders above them, quality-wise. And this is up for debate. Is Mancini the best manager in this tournament? Maybe there's someone I'm not thinking of.
No, I'd say Enrique's up there. Like Luis Enrique as a manager is definitely
he's up there. He's up there, though, Mancini, with experience and with what he's shown that he can do with this team. He gets it clicking. And when a team's clicking...
Simplified it, mate. They're playing in the same positions. Like, so he's got club players. That's why he's got... I think he's the first time ever... I think we mentioned this before. He's got players from all the different Italian teams. So he's like... Spinazzola's from... Roma, but I think you've got Berardi's from Sassuolo, so he's the first time to do that, but he's not putting square pegs in round holes, mate. He's saying that's where they play, get me a position, I'll play them there. We're playing a 4-3-3, this is what we're doing. He plays there, he plays for Juventus, but he doesn't play there. I don't want him, I need someone who plays there. And it's like he's done that, and it means even who comes on the park, it's like they're just playing, they know what their job. And I feel like they've got depth as well, mate. Like we keep not talking about, but like Immobile as well. He's got a killer up front as well. So it's like even in games that I think will be cagey, and I'll be interested to see them against the Belgium. But I feel like they've got depth. They've got more depth than people are giving them credit for, mate. And you called it, and I thought Italy would do well, but they've went past my expectations as well. The performances have been outstanding.
Even people in the chat, you know, Diaz says right here, he says they're real contenders, they play good football and they win in a convincing manner. You know, you're supposed to, when you play in scrub teams, you're supposed to beat them in a scrub way. And that's what Italy done. They played them like they were the best team. You know, that's the difference between England's winning the games that we did and Italy. We're beatable.
Yeah. The thing is as well, James, see if they want to make it, there will be a match which is cagey because it's Euros or the World Cup, there's always a cagey match. They've got the defence to deal with that. They've got either Chiellini, Bonucci or what you want, Bastoni, who comes on as well. So with that, they can make it a battle as well. So it's not even like we can say, you know, they'll go and rough them up because they'll welcome that as well. So yeah, I think you're right, mate. The only thing is, I think Belgium have got the quality to beat them. So that's why that game is going to be massive. I think if it comes about, but I think it will.
I think as well, something that's important to mention, obviously, the way this is set out, so the road to the final, as I've got on my screen, it's set out into sort of two sides, realistically. So we're going to play the winner of Sweden or Ukraine, and then we'll play the winner of whoever wins the other quarterfinal, which will be either the Netherlands, Czech Republic, Wales, or Denmark. If you look at the other side of the tournament, the side that we don't have to worry about until the final, you've got Belgium in there, you've got Portugal in there, you've got Italy in there, you've got France, you've got Spain. I'm saying if we beat Germany,
100%.
we should be getting to the final bare minimum.
Yeah. Well, if you beat Germany, it's going to be, even say Germany beat you, basically it's going to be a toss-up, isn't it? Because Netherlands are on that side as well, aren't they? So it's going to be Netherlands.
Still, I think quality way better than Netherlands. I think as well, manager-wise, both managers are shite. So when you look at player for player, England should beat the Netherlands.
No, I agree. But it means a Holland or England are going to get to like a, you know what I mean, like a final, which is massive for that country. Is what I mean. So it's like maybe Germany.
Unless though, Conroy, even though like it's most likely going to be England's or
if Gareth turns up, if Gareth does something about mental, Gareth Bale. I'm saying Bale. Bale might do something. You never know.
Listen, bro. It's not out of the realms of possibility. I've saw crazy.
These games are going to be class, mate. Because every game we're talking about, most of them, there's a storyline here. There's a relation from one other, and it's mate. I'm very excited. Even the games like we mentioned, Croatia, Spain. I think that's going to be tactically very interesting. Every game is going to be great, mate. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to
go out on a limb and I'm going to say Italy and Germany in the final, and Italy will beat them.
Oh, throwback to that was the semi-final. Remember the World Cup semi-final when Del Piero scored what a goal that was. I remember that.
I can't remember this vividly, but I know the final that you're on about based on research that I've been to.
Yeah, because Italy, I've never seen shithousery like that in my life in that competition. Francesco Totti diving in the last minute against Australia. People forget that. I like Italy now, but back then I was like diving, bad word. I was going to say a bad word there. That's what Italy reminded me of.
Whatever you want,
but Fabio Grosso, was it Grosso? He scored in that semi-final as well. That Italian team though, Italy.
It's always good to get them old school games, isn't it? And the thing that I like about international football is that you don't see these teams play each other all the time. So when it comes to Italy versus Germany, it's actually a big game because you don't see it every week.
Yeah,
It's not guaranteed.
mate, I think that's a good shout. Like, I think that could happen. I'm going
Italy
to
and
change.
Germany.
I'm saying maybe Belgium, Germany. If Italy don't get it, but I'm very keen that I think one of them will win the tournament, 100%. But
It's a
probably
big
most
shout,
likely
man.
Italy. But
It's a big shout. Everyone, get your winners of the tournament in the chat as well. Shout out to everyone that has stayed in this stream. And we're not over yet. We're going to finish up in about 5 or 10 minutes. But just thank you so much. You know that I appreciate it. There's people asking about watch-alongs and stuff. For the knockout games, we're going to be doing more watch-alongs. I've had a little break from live streams and stuff just because I'm taking advantage of the fact there's no Liverpool football. But I've still been keeping up with the Euros. And yes, the watch-alongs will be back very, very soon. Shout out to all the spammers that are in the chat. Oh, wait, that wasn't a spammer, was it? I hope that weren't a spammer, because then I've just turned out someone who's just a normal person. But shout out to my G Monster as well. Go subscribe to Big Six Bands. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, this was the thing that I was going to ask you, actually. So you think Belgium are going to win the tournament, and I think Italy. But the thing that I was going to ask you, moving away from the Euros topics now, because we've talked about everything that we need to, is these links with John McGinn. And we're going to wrap up once we've talked about it. But you as a fellow Scotsman, and again, a Liverpool fan, is that something that intrigues you? And you know, all biased outside of it, do you think John McGinn is a good option for the Genie replacement?
not as a Genie replacement, but see the thing is with John
50
McGinn,
million is what they're talking about as well.
No, because for us, see if you could get John McGinn in our team, I think Klopp would love him, because you can. John McGinn's one of these. He's not technically amazing, right? But he uses his body so well, and he gets in the box, he gets goals. We could do with goals like that from midfield, and we could do with someone. He would. I think Klopp would love him because he could use him for lots of different things. But he's not a Genie replacement for the money he spent. I think Callum touched on this last night in Coppish. They said you just get Basuma. You just get Basuma for the same money, or you get Basuma's, I think, the perfect option to replace Genie. For the money, for 50 million, because Villa are going to charge it that high, because obviously they maybe value him about 30, but they're not going to give you. They want to get the most profit they can get, and if Liverpool could get him for maybe 25, 30, it might be good. I think he'd suit the system, but as a replacement, nah, just get Basuma. It costs you the same to get Basuma. Just get Basuma.
I get that. Basuma's a good shout. How about Renato Sanchez? Because that's a player that's been now
Yeah,
linked to
like
Liverpool
him
just based on the fact he's been linked with us before, and he's having a good tournament.
I think he would
wouldn't
come
mind
in
him
as well,
physically.
mate.
Physically,
I
he's a
think
good option.
he probably would fit in. Both of them would work it. You maybe say with Basuma, Sanchez is really good as well. Basuma's maybe got a better pass on him, but I'm splitting hairs here. They're both very good players.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's funny the amount of people who say like, "Oh, Sanchez is back," and I'm like, "Well, hold on, I just won the league with Lille, right?" So he's already been back this season. It's not like he's been out in the wilderness. He did win a Euros as well, which people seem to keep forgetting. He was in. It was like he won the Euros. He was in that squad. I think it was meant to be that he was meant to be the standout who didn't win. But because Ed Ayer scores for 25 yards and they beat France, he's won it. So it's like, I think he's had a lot to take in at a young age, and be like, back then Portugal maybe never had as many options coming out as now. It's like Fernandes and João Felix. So maybe there's a lot of pressure, and maybe that's why he kind of drifted away. But I would say, mate, you're better just getting a Basuma Sanchez, because I like McGinn, but it's not for 50 million. It's why would we go down that route? It doesn't make sense to me.
It's even like, you talk about 50 million for McGinn. Good player. I just want to get that out there.
No, he's really effective as well, mate. He's very effective.
Even shout out to Prince Teddy as well, because he's active in the chat, man. Big up yourself. And he's saying, how is Ben White only 10 million cheaper than Ruben Diaz? And this just goes to show the money is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I know John McGinn is in English, but I don't know how they're getting this valuation of 50 million.
I think it's maybe
if
the
Jack
Grealish
Grealish was going to be sold...
I think they're thinking he's going to go.
But if Jack Grealish was going to be sold... If he was going to be sold, you're looking at 70, 80 million, maybe 90 for Jack Grealish. But
I don't think they want to sell him again, mate. I think because I think they're trying to buy Smith Rowe now. So I think they know that Grealish is going to go. That's what I think anyway. So I think they're just trying to price teams out him again. I might be wrong, but Grealish will go, I think, in the summer. City are going to get him.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well, and Shawnee brings this point up. It's a great point as well. You don't want to be going out. You've just brought up Basuma, someone who is a good player overall, a little bit more proven than Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez goes and has a good game for Portugal. And here we all are saying that we want him and we want
It's
to
the
buy him,
James
and he's the main
Rodriguez
option.
thing, mate. It's James Rodriguez, Colombia. He was amazing at that tournament. Everyone's like, this guy's going to be the best thing ever. He's a very good player, but come on, it happens. Has it ever been? There's maybe been one or two from tournaments, but they're never as good as we think they're going to be.
Yeah, no, yeah. People, we're going to talk a little bit more about the John McGinn transfer on tomorrow's Redmond roundup, which will be out midday at some point. But is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up, Conroy? Any other things that's going on in your head? Or
I was going to say, you mentioned, I don't know if you want to talk about it today, you mentioned in the voice message about the Modric thing, but I don't know if you want to say that for another video.
We'll save that for another show.
Because Cal will want to get in that because he's got that's a really good debate that makes. I looked at the stats before, so yeah, maybe
it's close. It's close. Yeah. Basically, what we wanted to do, people, and we'll talk about this on the next show, on the next live stream, which I think is Thursday, but we'll sort out with Conroy when we can get you back on, of course, when you're free. But the thing that we were talking about, wait there, what was we saying? I've just lost train of thought. Modric. Oh yeah, so we're thinking about doing a debate of Luka Modric versus Iniesta. Now, there's many factors that come into it. Both were very successful. But when you look at stages of their career as well, Modric, now 35, look what he's doing. And then if you look at what Iniesta's doing at 35, it's very one of them. But a lot of people, without thinking about it, might just say Iniesta. And then some might just say Modric. But that's why we're going to talk about it on the next show. That's what this show is for. It's going to be for debates. It's going to be talking things like the Euros and things that's going on in football. Just to take away a little bit more from that transfer news that I do most of the time on the Redmond Roundup. A little bit of less speculation, basically.
The son I can add to that as well, James, I'll tell you off, but we can maybe add a few different players into that as well, because when I've done a bit more research as well, you know how you said, like, you just assume Iniesta. Well, I'm not being controversial, but sometimes the Xavi thing gets assumed as well over Iniesta, so it's like, you know, I think that's a proper debate, mate, and then I think, it's good. We'll save it, but that's a good debate. That's an hour in itself. I'm telling you, it's a good debate.
No, I hear you, man.
But I don't know if there's anything else, mate. If there's anything else going to say about the Euros. Oh, I was going to ask you, who do you think has been? Young player of the tournament? That's what I was going to ask you. Who's been your young player of the tournament?
Renato Sanchez, does he fall in that category? Oh no, actually, Isaac's a shout. Isaac for Sweden. He impressed a little bit on the start. How many games has Saka played in the Euros? Because I think he's got 3 man of the matches of his last 4 games for England. But
I think that was the first game he just played there. Was that his only game? Was it the last game?
Might have been the last game, yeah. I think it was. I think the others were friendly.
Pedri's been good as well. Pedri's been good for Spain.
Pedri's been doing bits. Pedri has been doing bits.
Damsgaard is good as well, mate. There's a lot. Locatelli, is he young? Oh my god, if he's young,
if he's under 23, then they fall.
Looks about 35, mate.
There's so many players like that. The ones that just look about 50.
Diego Costa is 25. I'm like, no, someone's messing with his passport. No chance.
Someone's defo took 10 years off that passport there. Yeah, Locatelli's in there.
Oh, do you know our James, mate? He said Frank Kowski. I'm not saying he's been playing a tournament, but I watched him yesterday for Poland, right? Now,
quality.
He looks he's very young. I might be wrong, maybe 17, 18. He looked very good for his age. I'm not saying he's a young player or anything, but I watched him for about 20 minutes and I was like, this guy, very good.
Hey, Havertz has been doing...
I think it's because he's so frustrating to watch. He's just like infuriating. He's one of these players, like, if he simplified things, he'd probably have 3 more assists than that. But Chelsea fans he's good, he's very good, but he's infuriating, I think. But you know what? Fair play to him. He's doing bits.
Fatty.
Yeah, I think he's got injured though. He's not been able to play. Musala came on last night. Yeah, he's not there. That's Northern Ireland's captain. He's not there.
I was gonna say, who the fuck's that? Who the fuck? The only 2 teams, or the only 3 teams he could play for is Wales, Scotland, and England. And I know he weren't in the England squad, so I was like, who the fuck's? Do you know who came to mind? The lad who plays for Rangers, the one who played for Southampton.
No, that's him. He's Northern Ireland's captain. Yeah, that's him.
But that makes no sense. Why would you bring that up, Callum? He was there spamming it in the chat. I was like, I don't want to ignore this in case there's a little bit of substance to it. You know
shout out on that, mate. A bit off topic to the comments because I like this, right? So you know the Copa
they're smashing at the comments.
Yeah. Do you know the Copa America's on right now? Right. So Chile have got a player called is it Brett Berterton or something? He's English, but he's got a relative, and he's scored in the Copa America. So it's
man, he scored for
Chile.
Chile. Yeah, I was going to say Sanchez's team. Yeah, he scored for Chile, and he's from. Is it the UK?
Yeah,
or
because he's
somewhere.
changed his name, mate. He's changed at the back. He's
He's
talking. It's
funny,
like
lad.
Bertrand Diaz, just so honestly, I love that. That's amazing. I love stories like that. But no, it's, yeah,
Firmino scored for Brazil yesterday as well, I think.
yeah, to
So
see his back heel, that was amazing. But
yeah,
I
man.
saw Neymar miss as well, but no one talks about that. If it doesn't go in, it's not as good. I'm sorry. He should be finishing that. But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I agree.
Firmino
I
looks
agree.
good.
See, it's
Think,
interesting, lad. The European,
yeah.
these international tournaments, they do add a lot of spice to the summer, and I have enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's been good, mate. I thought that, listen, I'll go into this more later, but I thought, I'm never going to do a video on this for yourself as well, but I thought the refereeing's been about 8 out of 10. I thought it's been very good. I think
Yeah,
they've played it like it's a
VAR hasn't
contact,
took the piss as
yeah.
much.
It's a contact sport, and it's like they've told them at the start, right? Not every time someone goes down, it's a foul. And I've felt that, and not every match, but most of the matches, I thought the refereeing's been very good, and that does add to making the games flow, mate. Because see if defenders, especially defenders, when they're facing their own goal, if they feel like they can just fall over and get a free kick, I just feel like it adds to the game. And shout out to the refs, I think they've been good. Obviously, Anthony Taylor with the Ericsson thing was on it, and the EMT team, but just in general, I think the refs have been great. I think there's a comment there, James. I think is it Gangan Deep is saying, would you take Sanchez, Liverpool? Oh, would you take Sanchez, mate? Because I know I would. Would you?
Renato Sanchez, yeah, I'd take him. I would
Yeah.
take him. I'm not like trying to. When I say don't jump on the high horse, I'm not trying to say he's a shit player. Sanchez has shown me physically he's very, very good. Like, he's got the physical attributes to compete in the league, and also he's got the ability. So he's young. That's another thing, and I know he's been on Liverpool's radar before, so I would not be against it. Price tag is always a thing, and there's many other factors as well. But as a backup option, absolutely, because he wouldn't walk into the first team midfield. But as an option, I do not hate Renato Sanchez at all. Especially when we do have an age in midfield, you need to go out and get some
I
younger,
think he would back
more
himself
promising
to
players.
get in the first team as well. He's one of
I
those
think he'd be
people.
more confident in
Yeah.
like a bigger
Yeah.
team, one that there's world-class players left and right, and it's just, you can get that sort of relax, you can relax knowing that you don't have to do as much work. You can see it for Portugal. It's like he sees Ronaldo, he sees Bruno Fernandes, he sees Diogo Jota, and his performance just rises.
Yeah, I think someone's in the comments saying, Prince Terry's saying he was a flop at Swansea. He was, mate, but as
He
well.
was, but there's context. There's like he's had injuries before. Swansea weren't the greatest of sides, and he also weren't a fully developed player. He came to the Premier League at a very young age, and it weren't like he went to a very good Swansea
deceive
team.
me. Like he wasn't good enough, but he is good enough as a player. I just think he's maybe had to sort a few his own issues out to get to where he wants to be. But come on, we talk about Botman with Lille. He was in that midfield and they just won the league. So winning the league against PSG for me is like a statement.
huge.
That's a big thing. That's when it's a
It's like
monopoly
when
league
we
and you
bought
win.
Fabinho. It's like when we bought
Yeah, when the
Fabinho
Monaco,
from
yeah.
Monaco, and they'd won the league not too previously to when we bought
Proof's
him.
in the pudding there, mate. Look at that. Look how good Fabinho is. So, yeah, great shout. I think the other one was James. Someone just said, do you think Germany not having fans it would make a difference at Wembley because they've not got the fans there?
Honestly,
I think the Germans are clutch. They'll
Honestly,
be in it. They
like,
won't care.
everyone's got to go through it. I don't even think us having the fans gives us an advantage. Our fans aren't even happy. Like, with all due respect, like, you don't hear the England fans absolutely buzzing during the game. You know all the stuff that's going on before the game with the booing and the knee and stuff. So the energy isn't great in Wembley just because there's fans there. Like, it's not like it's Anfield where the fans are absolutely buzzing to be there. Like, the England fans, I'm sure, are happy to be in a stadium again, but it's not the same atmosphere. So I
You don't score 20 minutes in, the crowd are on you.
I don't think there's really much to it. But people, we are going to end the show there. The chat was absolutely booming at the end. This show is going to be a more frequent thing. I'm looking on doing the Redmond roundups Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I'll do this live show with a guest or two every Tuesday and Thursday, and then on the weekend, if there's any games, then we'll do that. England watch-alongs, they will be back hopefully for the Germany game. I'm gonna have to do that one because that's a huge one. So Conroy, if you're free, we'll
mate. No, listen, Scotland aren't playing, are they? So
that's what I mean, lads. It'll be good to get you on that one, and also a few more of these shows. But again, thank you to everyone who's tuned in. We are going to end it there. Be sure to go subscribe to Conroy. Title, name and stuff is in the title. No, his name is in the title. Go subscribe. I don't know how many subscribers you're on, but let's get him to the next 100.
yeah,
And boom.
thanks,
Boom. But thank you for watching, people. Have a marvellous day. I've been your boy James. That's been your boy Conroy. And we are out. Peace.